On the surface, school looks pretty much the same as it always has. But we're going to dig a little deeper because for so many students, there's this silent internal war that's raging. So in this explainer, we're going to break down where that war comes from and what it really means for the future of learning. Just picture any classroom you've ever been in. You know the scene, right? Desks in rows, a teacher up front. It all feels so familiar. But what's actually going on behind all those quiet faces?
You see the typical stuff. Everything seems totally normal on the surface. Kids are doing what they're supposed to do, jotting down notes, looking at the board. It looks like a perfectly productive classroom.
And then, of course, you've got the modern edition. The phone may be hidden under a desk. And we might just write that off as a distraction, but a lot of the time it's really more of an escape hatch, a little window into another world while they're stuck in this one. But here's where the story really shifts. Because all of that, the note-taking, the staring at the board, even the scrolling, that's just what's on the surface. There is a much deeper story happening that is completely invisible to you and me.
And that is the core of it. It's this constant battle between their own dreams and what the world expects of them, between their natural curiosity and this crushing pressure to perform. This is the hidden fight that we're about to explore.
So to really understand this internal struggle, we have to go back to the very beginning. Every single one of us starts right here with this pure, unfiltered curiosity. We ask these huge, amazing questions about the world, not because we're trying to get a good grade, but just because we genuinely want to know. Learning isn't a chore, it's a discovery. In the beginning, learning was a real adventure. Each question wasn't a test. It was like opening a door to a whole new part of the world. There was no fear, just excitement. But that feeling doesn't always stick around. And this is the turning point. This is where that incredible adventure starts to morph into something else, a competition. What's so powerful about this is how clearly it shows the change. Suddenly, what drives you isn't curiosity anymore, it's marks. Your focus shifts from really understanding something to just passing the exam. And what used to be about opening new doors is now all about the fear of failing. Students stop learning to explore, they start learning to survive. And this just nails that transformation. The main question in a student's head completely changes over time. It goes from this wondrous why about the universe to a personal what about their score, and then finally to a comparative what about their rank against everybody else. The focus turns inward, but in this really stressful, competitive way. Now, this internal shift doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's fueled by this massive external force, the heavy burden of expectations. And look, these expectations usually come from a good place, right? Parents just want a better life for their kids. Teachers want to see their students succeed. But when you pile it all on, the combined weight of all these demands can become an incredibly heavy burden for a young person to carry. So what happens when that burden just gets to be too much? Well, students learn to put on a brave face. They smile, they say everything's fine, but inside, that silent war is just getting louder and louder, completely unheard. And now, let's layer on a totally modern problem, this paradox of being more connected than we've ever been in history, but at the same time feeling totally and completely alone. I mean, think about it. Social media is just this endless highlight reel of everyone else's successes. And as students scroll through these perfectly curated lives, it is almost impossible not to compare. And that constant comparison just feeds that little voice of doubt inside, making them ask themselves, am I actually good enough? This slide right here just gets to the absolute heart of it. The world is so focused on the metrics, the things you can see and measure, like marks and ranks. But while we're obsessing over that, we are completely missing the entire inner world of the student, their brilliant minds, their silent struggles, and that beautiful, fading spark of curiosity. Okay, so what can we do about all this? Well, the source material actually has a direct message for every student who feels caught in this battle. It's a way to start taking back what really matters. And it all begins by asking this really fundamental question. What is the actual goal here? Are we just trying to sort people into neat little ranks? Or are we trying to build the next generation of thinkers, creators, and problem solvers? And this is the first most important thing to remember. Your value as a human being is not a number. It is not something that can be graded or ranked or measured by a test, period. And this builds on that. It's a reminder of all the things that the system of scores and ranks tends to just push aside. That spark of curiosity you started with, The unique ideas you have, the dreams you hold for yourself. Those are the things that actually matter.
And this? Well, this might be the most powerful idea of all. The real purpose of education shouldn't be to quiet a student's mind by just cramming it with facts for a test. Its true job should be to spark that mind, to awaken it, to make it come alive with questions and new possibilities.
So now we've come full circle, right back to that quiet student in the classroom. And we end with this incredibly hopeful and powerful idea. Inside that quiet person is an entire universe of potential.
And that's the bottom line, isn't it? All of that world-changing potential is riding on one thing. We have to create a world where a student's mind feels safe enough to be curious, brave enough to fail, and free enough to just think. The only question